Welcome everybody to my YouTube channel, AceTrainerKevo. This is my week 1 of the Ultra Bonus Guide. The first tip I have for you is to hatch as many eggs as you possibly can, or you want, up to you. There's 3 reasons for that. One is that it's half distance, you can hatch eggs faster already. Number 2, you can get shiny Gligar and shiny Sentret out of eggs. And number 3, you can hatch the unknown letters that spell out Ultra from 10-kilometer eggs. So go hatching, y'all. The next tip I have for you is to catch every single thing possible, because shiny Sentret and Gligar will also be in the wild to catch for the shiny possibility also. That leads me for my third tip, and that is my raid guide for the legendary beasts, because they have returned once again. So here we go. This is my guide to 3-manning any of the legendary beast. Here we go. This is the first legendary beast, Entei, that I'll be covering. The attack is 197, defense 146, CP is 14758 or 41,758. Because it had such a low defense, if you have level 40 ground type attackers or water type or rock type attackers with the weather boost, you could 2-man this thing. But my approach is to appear to everybody by giving you a guide on how to 3-man it with good friend bonuses. So these are my recommendations of Pokemon I recommend you can use to 3-man Entei. The first Pokemon is Community Day Swampert with Mudshot Hydro Cannon at 1700 CP or above. Kyogre with Waterfall Hydro Pump at 2400 CP or above. Feraligatr with Waterfall Hydro Pump at 1700 CP or above. Gyarados with Waterfall Hydro Pump at 2400 CP or above. And we have Groudon with Mudshot Earthquake at 2900 CP or above. The fast moves that Entei will know will be Fire Fang and Fire Spin. The charge moves will be Overheat, Fire Blast, Flamethrower, and Iron Head. The hardest one I recommend would have to be Iron Head if you're using ground or rock types, and Overheat and Fire Blast would be the second and third most difficult because they are hard hitting than Flamethrower, which would probably be the easiest one. Now, the catch CP for Entei without weather boost is 1900, which is the lowest IV, and then 1984, which is 100%. For weather boost or sunny boost, you have 2375, which is the lowest, and then 2480, which is the highest. And as you can see, my team here is what I would use, that I personally already have without having to spend Stardust, to 3-man a Entei raid. The next Pokemon I plan on covering is Raikou. Now Raikou, as you can see on my team, is weak to ground. I will also be telling you how to 3-man Raikou with good friend bonus, which is the 1 heart bonus. Raikou's stats are attack 202, defense 165, and the combat power is 45435 or 45,435 CP. Because it has such a low defense, you can 2-man this thing, but you would have to have sunny weather with maxed out Garchomps and Groudons would be your best bet if you wanted to 2-man this thing and you had the Stardust or the Pokemon available to do this. Now I'll be going over counters to 3-man this. Now, the first perk I have is Mamoswine with Mud Slap Bulldoze at 3000 CP plus. Groudon with Mudshot Earthquake at 3500 CP plus. Garchomp with Mudshot Earthquake at 3600 CP plus. And Rhyperior with Mud Slap Earthquake at 3400 CP plus. Raikou's fast moves are Thundershock, Volt Switch, and his charge moves are Thunderbolt, Wild Charge, Thunder, and Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball being the most difficult of the charge moves to go up against because you'll be doing neutral damage versus the ground types. I highly recommend, if you have the candy or the capability of getting a Garchomp, to use a Garchomp because it will double resist electricity, and it's a pretty bulky Pokemon and it looks cool after all. Now, the catch CP is 1889, which is the lowest, and then 1972, which is 100%. The rain boost CP is 2361 or 2466 CP, which is 100%. So remember, 1972 is 100% without boost, and then 2466 is 100% without boost. Last but not least is Suicune. Now I have two teams for Suicune, and I'm going to go over each team in the detail on why I have two teams. So Suicune is weak to grass and electric, so I have my electric team here, and then my grass and kind of electric team here. Now the catch CP for Suicune is 1627, which is the lowest, and then 1704, which is 100%. Rainy boost or weather boost CP is 2033, which is the lowest, and then 2130, which is 100%. The attack is 154, and the defense is 197. So unfortunately, because Suicune has such high defense, it would be very hard to two-man this thing. You would have the fast moves that Suicune has is Extra Sensory and Snarl, which are not boosted by its original typing. And the charge moves are Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Water Pulse, and Bubble. Now, I'm going to go over the best counters to beat with 3 people, which is still very challenging, but it's possible if you have these counters or be able to trade for some lucky Pokemon to get to these. The first one I have is Raikou with Thundershock Wild Charge at 3200 plus CP, Electivire with Thundershock Wild Charge at 2800 CP, Sceptile with Bullet Seed Frenzy Plant with 2600 CP plus. Then you have Zapdos, Legacy Zapdos with Thundershock Thunderbolt at 3300 CP plus. Then you have Roserade with Razor Leaf Grass Knot at 2700 CP plus, and then Magnezone with Spark and Wild Charge with 2900 CP plus. Now, Magnezone cannot 3-man a Suicune if Suicune has Hydro Pump because it'll do too much damage. You're pushing it with a Zapdos to 3-man it if it has Hydro Pump, but they can do every other move except for Hydro Pump. Now, if Suicune has Ice Beam, then you don't want to use your grass types and you want to use your electric types, and that's where Magnezone shines with its part Steel type to help against the Ice type. All the other movesets, including with Water Pulse, Bubble Beam, can be done with either grass or electric type. I recommend having a mix of both in your team, but if you have the luxury of building 2 different teams like I do, then go with that. Overall, I would recommend that Electivire and Raikou be your top picks for the electric types, and Roserade and Sceptile would be your grass types. You can also use Venusaur with Frenzy Plant also, but it's easier, in my opinion, to get a Roserade. You can catch a high CP Roselia in the wild at level 35 and evolve it, as long as it doesn't have too low of an attack stat, which is the most important stat in my opinion. As you can see, I have 4 Roserade that are maxed out. My last one was a shiny one that was traded to me in the beginning that has not the best IVs, but it'll do the job. And then my Raikous are just under 3200 CP, so I'm working on getting some more candy right now because I spent all mine, as you can see, on this lucky shiny one right here. But that's it for my guide on how to get through the first week of the Ultra Bonus. Thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and have a nice day.